What if your child started screaming and said you were a witch? What if your neighbors whispered your name and the town believed them? No evidence, no mercy, just the sound of rope tightening. This is the true story of Salem, a town that killed its own out of fear and called it justice. Massachusetts, 1692. A brutal winter. Food was scarce. Disease took children in their sleep. The woods outside Salem were said to be haunted, filled with devils, natives, beasts, and worse. Puritans lived in constant fear of sin. They believed that Satan was real and closer than the Bible said. They saw witches not as fiction, but as an army. Many had fled persecution in Europe, but they brought the same fires with them, fires that would soon be lit beneath their own people. 9-year-old Betty Paris, 11-year-old Abigail Williams, 2 girls from a respected household, began to scream. They twisted their bodies, spoke in strange tongues, claimed something invisible was pinching and biting them. Other girls followed: Ann Putnam Jr., Mercy Lewis, Mary Walcott. What started as one spark became a blaze. When doctors could find no illness, there was only one explanation: witchcraft, and the town believed it. They accused 3 women, all outsiders: Tituba, an enslaved woman from Barbados; Sarah Good, a homeless beggar; Sarah Osborne, an old sick woman who hadn't attended church in months. Each was already vulnerable, already invisible. Now they were enemies of God. Tituba confessed, under pressure and possibly torture. She told them what they wanted to hear. A tall man in black gave me a book. He made me sign it. She described red cats, birds that spoke in tongues, a specter that flew. Her stories were pure theater, but the town ate them up. The trials had begun. A special court was formed, the Court of Oyer and Terminer. Its purpose? To hear and determine who among them consorted with the devil. They allowed spectral evidence. That meant if someone dreamed you hurt them, you could hang for it. Children were taken seriously. Dreams were treated as fact. Witches, they believed, could leave their bodies and harm others from afar. No proof was needed, only a good story, and a crowd willing to believe it. On June 10th, the first victim was hanged. Bridget Bishop, a widow who wore red and owned a tavern. That was enough. She said, "I am innocent. I know nothing of it." But she swung anyway. In the months that followed, more hangings would follow. Sarah Wilds, Rebecca Nurse, a beloved elderly woman, executed despite protests. Susanna Martin, Martha Carrier, accused by her own children. Each woman denied her guilt. Each was sentenced to die. One man, George Burroughs, a minister, recited the Lord's Prayer on the gallows, something witches weren't supposed to be able to do. They killed him anyway. The accusations didn't stop. Soon the girls began accusing people of higher standing, wealthier neighbors, churchgoers, even the governor's wife. Fear had become currency, and no one was safe. Some accused others to save themselves. Some named names for revenge. A child could cry, and a parent would hang. Even a dog was hanged, accused of being a witch's familiar. Salem had become a nightmare that no one could wake from. Some refused to even stand trial. Giles Corey was 81. When asked for his plea, he remained silent. To force him to confess, they placed stones on his chest and added more and more. All he said was, "More weight." He died with broken ribs and crushed lungs. His silence, a protest against the madness. By the fall of 1692, something shifted. People began to realize the trials were spiraling. Ministers warned it is better that 10 suspected witches escape than one innocent person be condemned. The governor dissolved the court. A new one was formed, this time rejecting spectral evidence. But 20 people were already dead. More than 100 still rotted in jails. Some children would never see their mothers again. To this day, historians debate what caused it. Was it mass hysteria? A social panic fed by isolation and fear? Toxic rye fungus causing hallucinations? A calculated power grab by certain families? Perhaps all of it is true. Perhaps none of it matters. What matters is that belief became a weapon, and in Salem, it killed. Years later, the accusers apologized. Ann Putnam Jr., one of the most vocal girls, stood before her church in 1706 and said, "It was a great delusion of Satan. I am sorry." Too late for the dead, but not too late for history to remember them. Today, Salem is a strange contradiction. Psychics and witches offer tarot readings. Halloween fills the streets with costumes and candy. But walk past the crowds, and you'll find a plaque, a gravestone, a cold wind. You'll feel it, the weight of what happened, the silence that still lives under the cobblestones. The Salem witch trials have been used to explain everything from moral panic to political scapegoating. They inspired the Crucible. They echoed in McCarthyism. They still echo in every place where fear is used as fuel. When justice is twisted by fear, we repeat Salem. They say witches once flew over Salem, but it wasn't witches they hunted, it was truth. The dead still speak, not in curses but in warnings. Thanks for joining me for the Shadow Hour.